When I get knocked down and they turn it around, I got a feeling in the pit of my
So
stomach.
today, for one of 91.1 WDUB's interview sessions, we have Secret Space, Dean Tartaglia here with us. Very excited. We're at a show at Double Happiness in Columbus tonight, so it's a pretty stacked lineup with the Flats and Snow Day and
Dead Leaves.
So it'll be cool. It's like kind of like, I'd say post-punk, emo, kind of like revival kind of music, and it'll be a nice show. So, well, thanks for doing this with us, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for sitting down with us. Start off a little bit here with some background. What did you grow up listening to in your home? What was being played?
Yeah. The first real band I got into was Nirvana. I didn't really listen to music religiously till I was 13 or 14. I got into super late for some reason. I never had a pop punk or metalcore phase, which maybe is a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I missed out on some good stuff, I'm sure. But yeah, my oldest brother, he left for moved out of the house, and he left his whole CD collection in his room, and it was Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Nine Inch Nails, every really cool band from the '90s, mainstream band. And I just got super into all those bands. And I think that just kind of I don't know, bands like Nirvana is just a springboard to go in so many different directions. That it just kind of did over the years.
Yeah.
But that's always been a huge influence on what we're doing, the fact that we're a three-piece. I think a lot of that stuff, that it's deliberate choices based on just where we came from.
Yeah.
Sure. So you had this gold mine of albums that you stumbled upon.
Right.
What was the very first album you personally bought, if you remember?
I think it was Incesticide.
Okay.
I don't know, I had, again, through my brother's collection, I had, Bleach in Utero and Nevermind. And, I just went to, I saw all these other Nirvana things that were just out. I was obsessed, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was, and it was it was 2004, so it was too late to be, cool to be listening to grunge.
Yeah.
Also too early to be cool listening to grunge.
Mm-hmm.
So I was I don't know, just kind of the weird kid, still obsessed with it. But, I think it was Incesticide at, Best Buy when I was 14.
So a lot of those bands, Secret Space, kind of have a raw tonality in a lot of the music. One thing I was more curious about the music you're doing is this flanger on your guitar.
Yeah.
It's circular kind of looping. How did if you what's the tip or the trade? How did you come up with that kind of sound?
Yeah, a huge band. Do you guys know the band Failure from the mid '90s? They're one of those bands that's kind of being rediscovered 20 years later. Oh, we messed up. We should have been listening to them. Again, another three-piece from the mid '90s. I don't know, a lot of those space rock bands have kind of there's a little bit of influence from psychedelic music. I think just the way I like to get those sounds, just to push the pedals as hard as they go.
Yeah.
And there's usually just a ton of combinations. When I use a max out on distortion and overdrive and stuff, and then I have the flanger going, but also the chorus pedal. It pumps super, super hard. I think that's how we started. That was kind of our little trademark with it. Obviously other bands do that, but that's what we were picking up on.
Yeah, it's shoegazy kind of
long.
I just think of when I hear your music, it's long. It moves. There's always forward motion. And
it feels fluid when I'm up there. Totally influenced by definitely shoegaze guitar work.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's I know the scene has gotten into it and out of it pretty quick with shoegaze, and obviously I wish you guys knew what our LP sounded like. We can talk more about that. But
I mean, speaking of having the recording process, you guys have been doing that, and with this sound that you're kind of going for. I know you have said in the past that working with Will Yip as a producer has really pushed your music. With what you feel on stage with the flanger and all that stuff, all these influences, how has he helped you shape a record that you really want?
I think the biggest thing was that he wrote a big chunk of it with me. I didn't know what to expect too much going into it, but he it just really feels like he's the fourth band member. And I think something that I've always wanted to make a really good a rock record, but really heavily influeed by pop. And I wasn't quite sure how to do that for a while. I think that's always been the goal of Secret Space, but we wanted to like start from a different, not try to start right there, start from a different point.
Yeah.
And I think what he really helped with is like how to bring those pop influences in a really genuine way. And a big part of that obviously is helping with like the writing process, stuff like that. Cool. But you know, I feel like everything we put out, it kind of in certain ways feels like a different band. But from where we're at to, I think it's the biggest leap I've made personally. You know, and if to some people it doesn't sound like Secret Space right away, it sounds like me. I honestly can back it as the most genuine thing I've done.
Nice.
So I'm just excited for people.
That's
like,
a really good feeling.
It's the best feeling I've ever had making music, for sure.
So, thematically.
Yeah. So like also like you talk like it feels like you, but more curious about like your setting. Like both of us being from Toledo. Like what's like the Toledo like DIY, like hardcore scene, like what's that like kind of inspired like in your music in a lot of ways? Has it inspired you in a lot of ways?
It's been really cool the past like 6 months to a year especially. We just did a show up there that was like at this really small spot that doesn't even normally do shows very often, and I mean we knew it was like 100 cap going in, but like I think like 200 people showed up, and just like to know this, and it was like all bands that we back in that scene. To know that like it's that strong that you can, there's still like a need for music is a great feeling.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but like, too, it's just like it's a great city for a lot of reasons for musicians. It's centrally located, and it's really easy to make a living doing this and living there. But also like you don't get everything you want when you live there. Like there is a lot of stuff that's lacking, and like that's been the biggest inspiration on me living in Toledo is just like things I haven't been able to do because I'm there, or just feeling a little bit like sometimes it feels like you're watching the rest of the world go by, and that's I'll back that sentence and say that's what the new record's about. Just like watching the world go by.
I was gonna ask, like, I'm sure that's a big drive and a push to make music and to, you know, potentially tour and break out of Toledo and all that good stuff. So I'm sure that's like somewhat inspiring.
Yeah, definitely.
But so that's kind of what the record's about. I know you've spoken about isolation, change, empowerment, commitment, and my favorite, sleep, as being kind of part of the record. Do you want to speak a little bit about the sleep aspect?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know when it started specifically, and I actually had it really bad in the studio. But I have issues with like insomnia. I think just it's like a work-related thing. You get too like into your own head, and you know, you just kind of lose track of time and everything. What's important. But yeah, I had a lot of issues with like not being able to sleep, and most of the record was like written in the middle of the night, just like in my living room, just like instead of trying to fall asleep, trying to do something productive. And there's just a different vibe, like just like writing at that time.
Sure.
That time specifically on the clock, but that time in my life when I was having trouble with that, I just felt a little bit like tired but unstable. You know what I mean? It's music has always been like I don't know, just kind of dark and heavy. But like just the aspect of like trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? That kind of just taps into the whole sleep thing.
Just a few more questions here.
Yeah, no worries.
So speaking to that kind of, you know, you're writing late at night, you have these heavy themes. How do you bring that on stage with you? How do you engage with the audience and kind of bring out those emotions? What's your goal as a performer?
I've had a really different aspect on things lately, and I think you'll see it tonight. And I think it's been a whole thing on the tour. Got the advice recently that it's better to if you're gonna play heavy music or really intense music, it's better to engage the crowd with a lightness, not be so heavy, because it's just kind of like beating a dead horse every time. Sure. And I've just tried to make it really fun for people, honestly. Not try to be all serious rock guy. There's been something different about this band. I know you guys know my old band and everything, but I've just been trying to have fun with it and not worry about the next step and not worry about perception. You know what I mean? it's been a very different vibe. There were just three guys who were very lucky to be given the opportunity that we have, and I just want to have fun with the people who are coming to see us, and I think they've really related to like, you know, just kind of like joking a little bit in between songs, you know, stuff like that.
Just have fun with it for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Can end with somewhat of a funny question here.
Yeah.
What is your spirit animal?
I feel like I know this, like I've said this before, but I'm coming up with a new one. I don't know, man. I've always really liked birds.
Okay.
Just because like flying is sweet.
Yeah.
So flying is sweet. I'll end on that.
Flying is sweet. Alright, birds. There you go. There you go. Well, hey, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Best of luck with the rest of the tour and tonight as well.
Thanks, man.